make a girl a promise. If you know you can't keep it. They let me pick. Did I ever tell you that? Choose whichever Spartan I wanted. You know me. I did my research, watched as you became the soldier we needed you to be. Like the others, you were strong and swift and brave. A natural leader. But you had something they didn't. Something no one saw but me.
Welcome everybody to a bang on time Xbox Series podcast. Thank you for being here with us. It's been a week. Deadly Headley, how you been?
Good. I'm very, very
You
good.
don't need to lie about it.
No, you know what? I'm not good. And I was massively thrown by the fact that I forgot to mute our YouTube streams. We're off to a fantastic start. I've been busy. I have been stressed. I have been like a tornado all week that hasn't played any video games. But my weekend starts after tonight because I'm going to a wedding tomorrow, and that's going to be fun. And yeah. It's podcast time, so everything's good now.
Everything is good now. Tornadoes are the happiest kind of weather anyway. One of my favourites. Gamzly, you look confused. What's so confusing, sir? Tell me how you've been for the week.
I've never understood robots, to be honest. But
Torrential rain.
tornadoes are
I quite like that as well, to be fair.
Yes. Whatever. I'm actually fantastic. I am catching up on a lot of TV shows that I used to love. And I revisited after all that talk about Lost for two straight episodes. So yeah, I'm actually back on Lost. So
You goon.
and
Are you
of course, playing
actually?
games. Yes. Yes, I am.
After like 3
Don't
weeks
laugh
of
at
like, oh, it's terrible, you're going to hate it, you're going to be so disappointed. You're so easily led.
Yes, but Deadly. Listen to me.
Hey, it was VPN. We're good. We're good. We're good. My VPN was on. Sorry.
I respect Deadly's opinions and the people on this podcast, so I tend to go revisit the things they recommend. You know what I mean? So when Deadly said, "Shh, don't even say it. Stop it. Let go of your nose." It's already hurt. So, anyways, Deadly said, all right, that it's better than he remembered. So I said, oh, perfect. Let's go do that. So I did it, and I regret it, and I fucking hate you, dude.
It's all part of the plan, Gamzly. It's all part of the plan. You know I love a bit of making you waste some time on some stuff I know you're not going to enjoy. Ah, you got me again.
Right. Deadly Headley, as Gamzly respects your opinion so much and does whatever you tell him, please tell him to just turn his microphone volume up a tad. Could use another 10 decibels on there.
Gamzly, turn your mic down. Yeah, just down a smidge.
How about now? Hold on.
How is that, chat?
How about now?
He's actually turning it down. What a dick.
You have actually turned it down. No, you do need to turn it back.
Anyway,
Okay, this is better. How about now?
That is
loud?
better.
Is
That was
loud
better.
now?
Contrary to
Yeah.
appearances, we do have some things to talk about this week, and we will get into that. But before we do, Deadly Headley, how's Lost been this week?
I actually finished Lost. I did finish Lost.
Why?
You know what? I enjoyed it. I did enjoy it. I really liked how it ended. They're not all dead, but they sort of are. We could end up spending an entire show talking about the ending of
Oh
Lost
no, we
and
couldn't.
enraging the Lost community, if there is such a community that exists. I think I found a small one on Twitter because I've been algorithmed it, which
It's like
makes sense.
it's like those annoying like Inception lovers, you know, the movie Inception. They're like,
Inception's great.
are
What
they
are you
in the
talking
are
about?
they in the thing or not? The thing didn't spin and it wobbled,
Okay,
and oh
yeah.
my god. Yeah.
Sorry,
They
just to
just
be
talk
clear,
about that
are we
same
saying
thing
that
over and
like
over again. Inception's
what are your
incredible.
thoughts on Inception? Okay, fine. That's
Inception's
good. Good.
incredible, but the conversation just turns around in a tornado circle,
Yeah,
go,
it
leading
does.
nowhere. So yeah.
It does.
Anyway,
Yep, central theme of the show today is going to be tornadoes. Let's do some gaming talk, okay? Gamzly, you've played loads of games.
what do
You
you want
always
from
like
my
to
face?
brag about it.
Did I? I didn't. Hinterberg got me, guys. Hinterberg,
Did it?
Hinterberg, Hinterberg got me big. I'm 70% through that game. I freaking love it, dude. I think this is like the biggest surprise for me this year. I know that sounds ridiculous, but it's the biggest one. I I expected to like all the big games that came out, Infinite Wealth, you know, the Yakuza stuff, all that stuff. I really saw that coming, like Erd Tree DLC. Didn't surprise me, all that. This is the one that I didn't think I'd enjoy at all. I saw it, I was like, oh, this is probably not for me, and I ended up really enjoying it. So I really urge everybody to at least give it like an hour, see how you feel about it. And if you don't like it, nothing lost. Haha. Haha.
Yeah. Does it have
Nothing
tornadoes in it?
lost. No. It just
Yes,
has a
it
lot of
does. They're in the
snow
bloody
and
trailer. Shut up. So
um
I'm
yes.
actually, because I respect your opinion so much, I'm going to download that game as
No.
well. Going to download that game. You'll
do
see.
you? Okay, you're spite downloading it. That's different, Asa. That's different.
But who am I
Really
spiting though,
different.
Gamzly? You or me?
Me. Well,
Maybe both.
that's a good question.
You
Yeah.
did spite watch. You did spite watch Lost this week. To be fair, Gamzly.
I did spite watch it. I did. But you know, whatever. Yeah, it's really fun. You cannot. Were you? Are you a Zelda fan? Remind me again, Asa. Do you like Zelda, like the old school Zelda? Do you like that?
Very much. No, not overly. It was all right. The old ones were
Let's
all
move
right.
on. Let's move. uh, it's hard for me because the structure of the dungeons within this game are very reminiscent of some of the old dungeons and other Zeldas, and they do it really well, and they do a good job. Okay, you know what? A better comparison would be take the best, I don't know, shrines in Zelda, Breath of the Wild, which you haven't played. That's sad. I don't know why I'm drawing this
The
comparison.
old ones
Um,
like Breath of the Wild. Okay.
yeah, no, but I circled back and I say, never mind. Let's go back to Breath of the Wild to make it even better comparison. All right, the best shrines of Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom for anyone listening that played those games, it's more reminiscent of those dungeons, right? They're small, bite-sized, and when good, very good. So I'll say that. And the social mechanics around said game to explore and progress your character and your repertoire um, is very solid. So yeah, everything congealed together makes a wonderful little game that I quite enjoy. But yeah, I liked Brotato, so don't listen to me,
I
baby.
didn't believe you for a second, except Joe has said he 100% agrees with this take on Hinterberg. It's so good, and this isn't another Brotato case where Gamzly's just speaking nonsense. So, you know
There you
what?
go.
I'm going to download it for Joe. No spite there.
Thank you,
No
Joe.
spite.
Thank you, Joe. I hate you all. But yeah,
I
I've
also think
played.
that that's good to know. I think it's good
Yeah.
to know. So Mrs. Deadly is an old school Zelda fan. So I've already shown
She'll
her
love
the trailer
this.
for this. She seems like she's on board with it. So yeah, it
Mhm.
might actually be an Xbox game that she genuinely checks out. Absolutely cool.
So
Mhm.
I'll stop there and ask you guys because I have also been playing other things that are easier to talk about. But first, I want to hear what you've been playing.
Well, Deadly Headley hasn't been playing anything. He did confess before the show that he's watched Lost and he's done a lot of work this week. So I'll probably fill that little space and say that I finished Doom 2016. It was sublime and I love it. It finishes fairly abruptly, but very, very, very enjoyable for me in its simplicity, because I am a simple man, I guess. Then I moved on to Doom Eternal, which is also very, very good, but I maintain my opinion that it's not as good as Doom 2016. That the complexities that it adds take away rather than add to it. So I'm glad that Doom, the Dark Ages, is kind of stripping that back again and going more simplistic from what we gather from what they've said about it. Very much looking forward to that because I loved my Doom games. I played a little Kanitsugami, which starts
Nice, me too.
very slowly. And I'm not convinced that I'm going to keep playing it. I've heard good things about it, and I love various things about it stylistically, but the loop is very simple, and I can't see it growing. It's hard to anticipate how it's going to grow, but I can't see it growing into something that gets its hooks into me. I think the
How
first,
far-
I'm not very far into it. So the first, 10 minutes, when you first control the fella and he's, floating around and you get into the combat doesn't feel good in that intro sequence. And I imagine they'll lose a lot of people off the bat just from that first experience, because that's how people engage with games that are on Game Pass. Like, if you don't like it, you drop it straight away. I got past that. I enjoyed the little flower dances and all the rest of it. But the loop of that game is it has a day-night cycle on the levels, and the days are very, very simplistic. You go around cleaning up some corruption with a feather duster and collecting enough resource to put your villagers into combat positions and clear the path of the goddess so that she can clear the level for you. And then the night comes along and all the monsters spew out. And you fight them with your weird little dancey moves that don't feel brilliant in themselves. It's not like a Devil May Cry or a God of War or an Elden Ring in the way that it handles, but it's adequate. You can use your very simplistic combos and dance through the enemies. And the loop that goes on is it's fine, but not that deep and not that gripping. So I'm failing to see how it's going to grow as it goes on, whether it's going to become satisfying over time. But it is stylistically very strange and definitely worth giving a go, just because it is so different to anything else that's out there. So yeah, a bunch of that. And I spent approximately 4 months downloading Call of Duty. I've not played it. If I can name the download. No, I haven't played it.
It just downloaded.
I'm going to say it finished at 4 minutes past 8, and that's why the show started late today.
Yeah. Oh my goodness! Wow, you hear that?
What's your download speed like, Asa?
Not great.
2
I live in a
megabytes
little
per
village.
second. Apparently,
You're sort of out in the sticks, aren't you?
I am out in a little village. Yeah.
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 I see. That's why you are the way you are, beautiful and lovely. Okay. So, anyways, I don't know where the hell that was going, but I will say, yeah. Go ahead, Deadly.
I did play a little bit of Still Wakes the Deep, but I ended up rage quitting after about 20 minutes.
Oh, did you?
Yeah. So I was quite tired anyway.
Did you get?
Like I've already said, so just didn't have a lot of time to play games.
Was it the part where the creature is running after you in that one section of the game?
It's quite early on, but
yeah,
yes, it's
okay.
it's basically the part where you first learn that you can distract and lure enemies.
Yes.
And he just kept on catching me out. And I was already feeling this latency from Cloud a little bit anyway. I was already tired and not in a great mood.
Yeah,
I played for 15, 20 minutes and just thought, no, fuck this. I'm done.
Yeah. When you were talking about the Cloud stuff on that, I was like, let's see what happens when all that inconvenience trickles away on the the
I
small
think there's
moments.
also I think because you're streaming via Cloud, you lose some definition in the darkness as well. So those really dark scenes, you can't make out as much detail as if you were playing natively. In hindsight, I probably should have had a little play around with the brightness settings and things like that. But either way, you're going to get that visual degradation in dark areas with cloud streaming, regardless. Yeah, that was actually the only thing I played this week.
All right, well, then it is enough. I have a question for Mr. Asa, since we
Good, because I have one for you
played
as well.
one
Go
and
on.
the same thing. Yeah.
Go on. I'm excited.
Are you? I
Yeah.
hate you. I hate you so much. You know what? I'm fucking done. Hold that. No, I'm kidding. I'm scared of excited Asa or fake excited Asa. So Path of the Goddess. I am just 3 hours in, but I like the blend of like tower defense slash horde kind of combat that it provides. It does flow. Yeah, the combat kind of feels like Onimusha, Onimusha, or whatever in the freaking PSI God knows when days in that game. So it kind of feels like that. It's like a fossil of its time almost, but there's something lovely about it. When it opens up and you start getting like the classes, like the healer and all that stuff, defenders and all that. Did you get to that section where you start to actually have the map broaden a little bit and bigger areas where you do really have to think and like it gets kind of hectic?
I didn't get to a particularly thoughtful phase of the game. I got so far as it was introducing the mechanics for leveling up the classes and things like that.
Yeah, the one corridor ones.
Yeah, it was pretty small in scale and like obviously really easy, but it is the start of the game, so you can forgive it that.
Sorry, fucking Gaz. Anyways, what is he doing here? Get out of here, you. It does broaden outward and it becomes like 3 lanes, and when that happens, it's really it's quite hard. I don't know about
not for me because I'm brilliant at games, but probably
you're brilliant at games. Yeah, thanks. I was saying that you couldn't just be quiet and let me finish, huh? Couldn't do that. No, sir.
There's no way that you were going to say that off your own back. Don't lie.
I was. What are you talking about? Why would I hide that from you? Headley, how didn't you kill us both yet? You're just standing there.
It's a miracle, honestly. I think somehow we're still just keeping this thing afloat.
Oh, man. But yeah, I'm quite enjoying it. What was your question? No,
I wanted to ask you about that particular game. I was going to drop it on you that I've also been playing a bit of World of Warcraft because I thought that would raise an eyebrow. Nice. Not a lot of World of Warcraft, but a little bit. I wanted to know how it opens up and if it starts actually trying to tell a story. Because one thing about it is it's got its like scenario is very much like simplistic from what I've seen so far, and there's no evidence that it will kind of expand or deepen or give you any kind of character driven. Yeah, I don't need every game to do that, but I'm just wondering what the kind of hook for this one is as you play a bit deeper.
No, you just slowly start to understand what your the vessel is. But it's not that intriguing. It's one thread. It is mystical, so I guess you could kind of find your value if you like that kind of I don't know, genre or thought process. But yeah, it's okay. I don't really it's not really driving me. I'm a huge tower defense guy, so the gameplay itself, that loop you were talking about, I love that. I love the resource handling and all that stuff. So it's definitely for me, and like who to upgrade, who not to upgrade, who to put in this spot, who to put in that spot, whether it's a tank or a healer or whatever. The bosses are quite cool. I fought one after the demo preview. Yeah, anyway. It was quite interesting. I was having fun with it.
All right, I might play it a little bit more, but
I don't have enough. I don't have enough. Like again, it's only 2 to 3 hours in, so I don't really have enough to expound on that. But it hasn't been giving me any story tidbits to really bite into yet.
Yeah, conceptually, I like it. I quite enjoyed what I played of it. I'm just not sure that I'm going to play it anymore because there's just, I've got to play Dungeons of Hinterberg because I promised you. Have you played anything else?
Yes, I played a little bit of Modern. I played Modern Warfare 3. You know what I mean, baby? Because my brother's friends got into it, and they're in their WoW cycle right now, where WoW has really not taken off yet. So they're off of WoW, and they do this little circuit jerk between Warzone, and core Call of Duty games, and then back to Overwatch, and then back to vanilla WoW. So they're in their Call of Duty stage at the moment, and I had to hop in, and everybody did not play. So happens did not play Modern Warfare 3. So my brother convinced him to pick up a Game Pass sub for PC. So
Right,
I've been
shall
playing.
we? That's definitely not the next topic, but as it's come up as a little subject there, let's talk a little bit about Call of Duty, because it's finally, as like everyone in the world anticipated, but finally it's actually happened. You can play Call of Duty on Game Pass now. Just Modern Warfare 3, so just the current, in theory, most high value one has dropped in Game Pass ahead of Black Ops 6 and all the rest of it. And it's freaking huge. And I resent that I had to download it and people are going to make me play it a little bit because I don't want to, but I'm going to. So, Gamzly, you mentioned a few of your brothers and their friends have got Game Pass specifically for Call of Duty. But I don't want to hear from you. I want to hear from Deadly Headley because he's not said anything for a little while. So you just sit in the corner, Deadly
I
Headley.
like his voice better anyway.
You tell me. I don't even know what to ask about this because I don't care about Call of Duty. You tell me about this. What do you reckon?
It's good that it's happened. I think I find it a little bit strange that they've started with Modern Warfare 3. I personally would have liked to have seen them drop the trilogy, considering the Modern Warfare reboot was 2018, 2019. So it was
one of them years.
a little while ago, wasn't
Love
it?
my Call of Duty.
Something like that. And then Modern Warfare 2 was much more recent, but yeah, just sort of feels a little bit odd that they've only gone with the latest one. But in terms of that kind of perceived value, I can see why it makes sense. I've noticed again, and I mean, you know, by what we've already said on this show in terms of the cloud gaming experience, probably for the best with Call of Duty, but Call of Duty is notably not available on cloud. So again, that's the dicks at the CMA. Kind of diddling us out of a cloud gaming experience with ABK games. But I think with Call of Duty specifically, it would be horrendous anyway. But I do wish that we could play Diablo 4 on cloud. That's it. I haven't picked it up yet. But I'm glad that it's here. Why is the download so big? So I know that you've got like a, I know you have like a Call of Duty installer, don't you?
I'm terrified of opening it. I don't know how many Call of Duty games it's going to be trying to install to make up that thing, because I know that they kind of tried to consolidate them, and through the Battle.net launcher, if you do it on that side of things, or through the Xbox storefront. I think I'm the worst person to talk about it because I have not downloaded them, but it is a singular launcher that's supposed to be a hub for all Call of Duty, isn't it? Or is that not?
They give you choices what to pick, like the full package, which is like everything and zombies and all that. Zombies, I don't know, and all that good stuff. So
so what you're saying is there's a fair chance that even though I've been downloading it for 4 months, when I fire it up, it's going to say, well, you got a whole load more downloading to do, kind of like Gears of War 5 does.
Kinda, yeah.
And Master Chief Collection, when you download them and you're like, I've been waiting days, I can play it. I've only got the menus.
Yeah. Yeah,
that's good to know. Like, especially for Series S players, like you've got what 512? Is it 512? The Series S launch with like, in this day and age, that's fuck all. It's gonna be rough.
Yeah, it's a rough one. It's just terribly optimized, you know what I mean? And I know that's like weird to say, but it's terribly optimized. Like Warzone, it baffles me how Warzone just runs so terribly still, even to this day. By the way, have you guys jumped into Warzone?
Hell no, couldn't
Anyone in
make
chat?
it.
Not for a long time, man.
Anyone
Not
in
for
chat?
a long time.
It still runs like trash, and I'm I can't. I don't understand, and it's a gigantic upload. Not just for like consolidate. It's just a big upload. I don't understand it, but anyway, compression is nuts.
It's actually run badly. That surprises me because I thought Call of Duty was supposed to be buttery smooth forever.
I
as
don't
a
know
priority
if
for them.
it's server. I don't know if it's server. Like the servers are just poorly performant, or if it's.
Are you playing
the
it on
game
your Steam
itself.
Deck?
I have no idea. I am not. I'm playing it on my laptop, you dirty little. And I don't use this
Is
fucking
that the
guy.
laptop
Goddamn.
that you spilled coffee
Coffee
on? Because that
stain.
could
Yeah,
explain
you
why
know
it's not
what?
playing
All right.
properly.
You know what? Gaz, are you still here, Gaz? You know what? Get Gaz in here. I'm fucking out. Outta here. Welcome to Game On Daily number 2, baby. No. I where was I going with this? The Call of Duty is a weird one. I wanted to bring this up since we're on the Call of Duty thing, just to end this because I don't think we have much to say. It striked me that this doesn't have. I don't know. I haven't checked my Xbox in. You be quiet. I I I haven't noticed if it has that little fire icon for when it starts to be trending and hot, like in the Xbox app. It has that for games that are like on the top ratings or rankings, or top played. It does not have that on it currently in the Xbox app, so that surprised me. I would have thought it would just instantly get a ton of hits, but not on PC. It seems. I don't know about Xbox. If anybody's seen it on the top of the list played on Xbox, you let me know. But I have not seen that, so that's an interesting thing that I want to just point out.
Do you know what else is interesting? The Halo TV show.
Yeah, let's do that.
Sure, it's not that interesting
unless
at
you're
all,
Paramount,
but...
apparently.
Well, yeah, if you're Paramount, I mean, it probably had some interesting meetings around it to discuss the cancellation and its non-viability and whose fault it was. So, Deadly Headley, you were quite enjoying the Halo TV show up to the point that it had reached.
Mm-hmm.
Talk to me.
So I think the important caveat with this story is that it's Halo the TV show hasn't necessarily been cancelled in full, but it has been dropped by Paramount, so it may still be picked up by somebody. I obviously am in the camp of hoping that it does get picked up by somebody, especially when we've seen how well Fallout has or how well the Fallout IP on all platforms, not just Xbox, but sales are right up on or were right up when the TV show came out for PC, PlayStation, and Xbox as well. Like it clearly invigorated that audience a lot, and did a lot for the IP. And obviously, as someone who is a fan of Halo, a fan of the IP, and someone who really wants to see Halo kind of hit that zeitgeist level in the same way that something like The Last of Us did, I obviously want to see it do well.
You say, well, Last of Us one goddamn time, Deadly. I'm gonna get you. I'm coming to get you. Yes, go on. The Last of Us, yes.
So yeah, I don't think it's dead. But it's definitely in limbo at the moment. You might even want to compare that to the experiences of the characters in Lost in the last season, potentially. Gamzly, you would know that if you bother to commit to the show.
Well, I don't know what you're drinking, but keep drinking, all right? Mute your mic. Watch yourself, all right?
A cider, and I'm quite hungry and tired.
Awesome.
And that might have something to do with it.
He's like, we're just gonna get wasted on air.
It's been one of those weeks,
okay.
Gamzly.
Yeah, I know. I can tell. Huh? Yeah, I was reading this, and my first thought was good.
Of course, it was. Did you just?
Yes, I muted my mic. So,
Okay,
anyways,
right.
that was me basically saying, I'm glad it's gone. Good riddance. Good riddance. All right, never come back.
How do you feel about it, Asa? Because you watched it fairly recently. You weren't a part of the sort of weekly tuning in hype. What are your thoughts?
No, so I was quite intrigued to see how the third season went, but my biggest fear was that they reboot Halo and make the TV series the canon and bring that guy in as the voice actor and all the rest of
Yeah.
it. So if this mitigates or reduces the chances of that happening, then good riddance as well. But obviously there are creative people behind it that had a story to tell, and like with everything, even if I'm not massively enjoying it, I prefer my stories to be finished. Just like I want to see that missing Halo game between 5 and Infinite. I want to see the TV series to its conclusion, right?
Yeah.
I just, and Gears of War. I want to see them finish that trilogy. I know they've said that they're going to on that one. To be fair, I want to play E-Day, but I still want them to finish the story that they were telling. I don't like unfinished stories. So Halo TV show may well end up an unfinished story, or maybe someone will pick it up. But that's a weird one because it's cancelled for a reason, right? It's like,
Yeah.
it means the books say cancel it. So someone's going to have a better vision, a vision
So
of how to do it
here's
on a
the
lesser
thing, though.
budget.
They clearly a suit and some books somewhere are saying cancel this, but it is one of the, if not the most successful show on Paramount.
That's the funny bit, isn't it? Because the books
done
might make
really
a lot
well.
more sense on a bigger service. They might be able to justify the budget and the audience that they would get if it were on a bigger service. But whether a bigger service is going to care enough, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see.
Yeah. So here's the other thing. Just a quick sort of side note on this topic as well. It may get picked up by somebody. It may not. It's very much up in the air and in limbo at the moment. But if hypothetically it does get picked up by Amazon, I think that could play quite well for Xbox as a brand because they already have one potent IP on Amazon. They already have a relationship with Amazon in terms of allowing users using Amazon's hardware platform to access its own software platform. If Halo ends up moving to that as well, and Amazon does actually manage to sort of start turning the oil tanker around, and I think oil tanker is a really important analogy for the Halo show because I think that's what Paramount were trying to do in terms of turning it around. I do think that they did a good job of steering it away from the direction that season 1 started in, because they also had to work with the narrative threads that they'd set out before they could stray further away from them. If they just dropped all of them in season 2, you'd be like, okay, where's the continuity here?
Madrigal,
If
blown up
Amazon
off
picks
screen,
it up,
whatever.
potentially.
Love it.
What's up?
Madrigal. Yeah, your planet was blown up off screen. I know it was important, but just got blown up, didn't it?
It's dead now. Yeah, it's fine.
Yeah.
But yeah, if Amazon and Xbox end up with a better advertising relationship, like I alluded to last week, like when Fallout Season 2 comes, you can guarantee that Xbox will consider the opportunity to market its Fire Stick cloud gaming capabilities during the forced ad breaks that come up from Fallout.
What a wonderful
Yeah,
segue.
listen.
Xbox marketing, eh?
Yes, exactly. I was just gonna do that. Thanks for stealing my thunder. No, speaking of that, they can't even. It's funny you say that because they can't even freaking have enough money to market their own games, and yeah, they're gonna go market their TV services. I mean, their TV series. But I hold on. So I, for the record, I know I'm a little bit harsh on the Halo show. Okay, I very much am. I'm getting more skeptical as a consumer nowadays with TV, as I started to consume a lot more Star Wars. Funny enough, I love that series. I'm a huge Star Wars geek, and I feel the same way right now as I do for like, my other passions like gaming TV series or TV series based on games. I need the right people to start doing this shit because I'm so tired of so many good ideas, right? being shot on paper or written down, but so poorly executed on screen to the point of just we're watching this stuff to watch this stuff because we're hardcore fans. I hate that. I'm hating it. I'm hating every moment of it. Please, someone destroy this with fire, burn it down, and go straight to HBO because right now HBO is like fucking on fire, man. Just give them anything at this point because they're the only
Well,
ones that seem
you
to be
just want
executing.
more nudity.
No, I don't want more nudity.
Yeah,
I
you
want
do.
goddamn no. Listen, get House of Dragons. All right, look at me in my face. House of
You want them?
Dragons
You need
is
them butt
exceptionally
controllers.
written.
Yeah, just yeah.
Yeah, I need to just de-stress a little bit. I just get all squeezy. But no, I really do need them to write properly. Get people that can write these things. Treat it with respect. Spend the money, but as we know, Microsoft doesn't want to goddamn spend the right money for proper writing. So forget it and move on and don't do it at this point. But yeah, I'm done with that. Fuck it.
So, okay. I mean, yeah. Xbox marketing.
Fuck it.
So one thing that Paramount did for Halo was they did market it a lot in the way that a lot of Xbox fans call for Xbox to do, particularly in Europe, because they plastered the Halo logo and stuff all over the side of buses and all the rest of it, all the things people cry for. And we've just heard over the last week or so, I can't remember the fella's name. You do it. Go on, Gamzly.
I don't even have the doc up right now. Why you gotta do that to me?
I thought you'd know. You put it in there. I don't care about bloody marketing.
I put it in. I just certainly did. It's right here. Oh my goodness, Headley, talk to me, baby. To me.
What specifically are you wanting
There
to
it
know? Are
is.
you
The
looking for the
name.
guy's name or person's
Yeah, the
name?
name.
And the story in general.
Um,
Just take the topic and run with it.
Okay, so the headline is we're not blessed with this a quote from Xbox's EMEA marketing lead saying we're not blessed with big marketing budgets. Basically saying that we
Michael
are struggling
Flatt.
to advertise in Europe because we're not given enough money to advertise in Europe. And I think this is obviously it's a story that all the people on Twitter ran with, going, "Oh, Xbox is going to die because it can't afford to market itself in Europe anymore." I think I look at this and just think that Microsoft it doesn't necessarily have its eye on. It doesn't necessarily have its eye on the ball on what the broader strategy for Xbox and Microsoft should be, because I think if you're, I take that quote with a sense of it being a little bit normal for that team. Like if we are not blessed with big marketing budgets, means that this has probably been going on for some time. The article from Jez Corden, Windows Central, calls out the fact that the marketing lead notes that the firm or Microsoft is dramatically outspent by Sony PlayStation, who has a very, very strong foothold in Europe. It's a difficult thing because I think Microsoft probably are very aware of the size of their audience versus their marketing spend, and all of that plays into account. When you have a larger audience, your marketing spend is likely to be more successful because you're marketing to an audience that already cares about your brand.
Yeah,
that's a challenge that Xbox have in Europe, but I think to us as outsiders, not being in control of billion-dollar companies, we kind of just assume that surely the way you fix that is by spending more money, which with marketing budgets is a very risky game.
Yeah, exactly that. Because like EMEA is Europe, Middle East, and Asia, and besides the UK, we know that Xbox don't have a great foothold in most places covered by that territory in that region. So you're absolutely right that the marketing spend will be lower. It's kind of catch-22 in that sense. You expect a bigger marketing budget will help alleviate that problem, but marketing has to have a return. You have to be spending that money to make more money back. Otherwise, you're pissing money for no reason. And Microsoft are not a company that are going to piss money for no reason if they can help it. So absolutely agree with everything that you said, but not everything that Gamzly is about to say.
I freaking hate you, dude. Come on, I agree with you guys.
See that bit? He hates me. He doesn't. I don't agree with that. He loves me.
It's all lies. Yeah, no, I have always said if you have something to market, you're gonna market it. They freaking don't have anything. Like they had Gears, Halo, and Forza for like decades. They didn't have anything people cared about on that scale in those regions. So, for a long enough time, right? A good enough cadence of stuff coming out that people actually cared about in those regions. So that's where Sony properly just kicked their ass, right? They got all the marketing deals for the hottest games. They got Call of Duty, which is like a big seller there. They got freaking all these games that you guys and fellows like to get. They made smart deals, and now they're ahead, and they're really like they're they're squeezing that audience, right? They're trying to be in front of your face at old times. Nothing else exists. Xbox, I think, right now has a big opportunity with what they just picked up. In many ways, I think this title, this IP, and this purchase is going to be a big shift for them in those regions. Um, so we're about to find out
Yeah.
what their true budget is right now for that region, or they're just going to really reallocate a lot of um, funds they have and their budgets to those places now that they have this gigantic juggernaut. So we'll see what happens with that.
I think Microsoft kind of have a little bit of a thorn in their side here, though, because you sort of alluded to the fact that they've now got a lot more to advertise with what they've just picked up, being ABK and more specifically Call of Duty, and that going into Game Pass. That for Xbox hardware users and for PC users using PC Game Pass is fantastic news, but like we said a minute ago, Call of Duty is not going into cloud. And again, there's good reason for that with Call of Duty and Xbox cloud infrastructure. It will suck. But the reason why that's happened is because of an intervention from the CMA, not quality control on Microsoft's side, knowing full well that Call of Duty will play like shit via cloud. In a hypothetical world where Call of Duty plays really fucking well on cloud, that is a route into an audience that they are hampered by as a result of interference from the CMA. So they're kind of stuffed there. If they want to try and grow a cloud service in Europe, they can't do it off the back of ABK IP. The only way that they can market ABK content in Europe is on their own hardware, which obviously, for them to a certain degree is preferable. Yes, they make a loss on hardware, but they still, you're gonna get more MAU out of a hardware user than you will a cloud user. We'll see what happens.
The CMA thing is kind of funny because the way that played out, it was Ubisoft that ended up with the rights to license out Microsoft's and ABK's even games over on the cloud, right? So in theory, Xbox could go to Ubisoft and they could put Call of Duty and they could put Diablo 4 on the cloud. And in theory, Amazon could put it on Luna and all the rest of it. I don't think Ubisoft have actually successfully licensed out any products to anybody as a result of that deal that they got. So that's a little bit of a chuckle on the side. Let's.
Yeah,
Go on.
Oh, sorry.
No, do it.
Yeah, just to address just one thing in the chat. I don't think ABK was a bad deal or decision or a mistake at all. If you remove ABK and you kept the same cadence Xbox is putting out without the future of ABK, how realistic is it that Xbox would survive the whole shitstorm of growth in a time that nobody's spending money as much and everybody's having a difficult time? Do the math. You know,
That's the
them
reason that
having
some might argue
solid.
it's a bad deal. But
No.
the reason,
But then
Because
logic
Gamzly's
there.
also
If the whole
pointed out.
no, because the IP is the only constant thing that is a sure deal of selling something. So
yeah,
the sure deal of selling something, right, and installing a future is better than not having anything and then just slowly disappearing into the sunset in 3 years.
for
When
me, as someone at the
Microsoft
end of
just
it,
puts
hopefully
them
getting all
under the
these
bus.
games, right? More games is a good thing. From Microsoft's perspective, and like as a business decision to spend that money, they spent that money when everything was growing and everybody was growing, and they closed that deal when everything was shrinking and everybody wanted to get rid of people. So in terms of it as a business decision, there's probably some people that have some regrets,
Well,
just on account of the fact that they put
well,
themselves in a very difficult, high operating cost situation.
Mike,
But
yeah, but it was always going to be like that. Everybody was growing. I mean, it was
yeah,
coming. The crash was coming. It was coming. So
easy to say that
they
now, but I
made
don't think they saw it coming. I don't think anybody particularly saw it coming. You can argue they should have
In
done,
regards
but
to
maybe.
in
Yeah,
regards
we
to
can argue that, but
ABK, specifically the K part of ABK, I think a lot of people very quickly forget the asset that comes with King. The fact that Candy Crush
stability.
is, yeah, that's the thing. Those very, very cheap to make, very cheap to run in with the big scheme of things. Mobile games print money because the platforms that they live on, like Apple and Google stores, have trained their users that paying small amounts of money for tiny leg ups or ad skips in games is fine. And Microsoft now gets to make it rain with that quite comfortably.
Yeah.
Which I believe should be a means to help fund that Game Pass pipeline. I think that's how it becomes quote unquote sustainable. But we're not privy to the inner workings of that. We don't know
Well,
how that thing sustains itself.
I actually I like this a lot because okay, so in alternate realities, right, without the ABK and the market being the way it is right now, you know, what actually defines, let's say, Xbox's future of survival, right? Is it that is it that they, in this current landscape without ABK, they have a sustainable budget, let's just say a more sustainable budget? Do we see, like, how do they keep it that way? Do they actually scale down on Game Pass in that future? Does Game Pass disappear in that future? Do they focus on actually just being a third party? Is it more sustainable and happy for like Microsoft parent wise that Xbox just kind of dwindles in the background as this like smaller entity that is more sustainable and just slowly just like, just floats and is always in chaos of being cut? Or is the recent reality of let us do this one last kind of hurrah to try to make this thing self-run, or I don't know, bigger than it
So
is, and
just
envelop to
to
set a
go on.
future to set up a future where this one single thing can run itself without us? Which one, like, what's more certain? I think the ABK future thing is definitely the more certain thing.
Mm.
But
So
anyway.
just to jump in with a quick anecdote that happened this afternoon actually. So I went out to the barbers this afternoon, and I hadn't been before. They were really nice, by the way. Shout out to them if they're watching. But I didn't actually tell them my channel or the podcast name because they didn't ask. They asked quite a lot of questions about the podcast and what we do and things like that. But I didn't want to be that. Just be like, hey, here's my channel name if you want to go look it up, because you just look like a bellend. Anyway, we got talking about games. And there was the owner and his son were next to me. The son was sat in a chair and getting his haircut and stuff. And the kid can't have been any older than like 9, 10, maybe a little bit younger than that. I'm not sure. Asked me what I play. Because his dad had overheard that I'd played. I play on Xbox, So the kids sort of very sheepishly kind of looked at me when I said, "What do you play?" I was like, "You're gonna say PlayStation." I don't know he is, and that's fine. Like, it's a really popular platform. It sells everywhere. And I asked what he played. He didn't mention any of the PlayStation first party stuff. It was all third party stuff. So for Call of Duty, Fortnite, FIFA, etc., etc. The games that have a shit ton of players all the time and a lot of people spending money there. Um, that is the reality for gamers at large. Anyone who plays video games, and we've seen that from all of the MAU charts that we'd see surface on Twitter and stuff regularly. They all say that same story every time. It's the same three games at the top, and when GTA 6 comes out, that will join in those games. I'd be interested to see which of those games trickles down into fourth place. I think probably there's just going to be a constant tussle for top five at all times between Call of
So,
Duty, FIFA,
so what you're
Fortnite,
saying,
GTA,
so
and
what
something
you're
else.
saying,
Go on.
you're in more of a like spot that with ABK, a future for Xbox is more solid. Is
That's
that what you're
it.
saying?
Yeah, that's
Mhm.
exactly it. Because ultimately, Xbox are of course looking at their own MAU performance in terms of who is playing Xbox, who is buying hardware, how long are they spending playing games, whether it be on cloud or PC or console. They don't really care where you play. They just want to know that you are playing and how long you're playing for. And if they see those numbers go up, generally they seem to be quite happy, or at least that's what the executives are saying in interviews and things like that. Where the big money comes from with the ABK purchase is every single user on PlayStation, and there's a lot of them still buying Call of Duty games. Microsoft is getting a bigger slice of that. Well, they're getting a slice that they previously didn't get. And going back to what you said, Gamzly, in terms of Xbox could potentially just be in this perpetual state of being the underdog, being on the outskirts, being the quote unquote last place platform, but it's only perceived as the last place platform from a very, very niche number of people and children who ask which platform you'd like playing video games on, because Xbox is seeing itself sell COD every year now to a bunch of users that haven't had to invest in their ecosystem. So they're not having to support them in terms of investing in cloud infrastructure for them. They're just getting revenue from microtransactions on their game sale. They're laughing.
Yeah, well, not right now, but they're gonna
Not right
maybe
now, but they will
somewhere
be when Call of Duty
sometime.
starts selling.
Yeah, we'll definitely see that this year. Like this year is going to be a very interesting tell on the years to come. So, especially when everything drops. But anyway, sorry for sidetracking the whole thing, the whole ship off that. But anyways, you'll
That's
forgive
quite
me,
all
Asa. You
right.
love me, kind of.
Kind of. So the next Call of Duty, Black Ops 6, now shares a launch window with Stalker 2. I'm assuming Call of Duty is still November. Stalker 2 has been delayed, so it was due in September. It's been pushed back to November. I don't think anybody on the planet, besides possibly like Putin or something, I don't think anybody begrudges them a little delay, right?
No,
Because they are based in
No.
Ukraine. They are a war-torn. They
no,
are
I
a
just feel
war-torn
bad.
studio. So
I just feel so bad because I hope that Game Pass bag is gigantic because I just feel bad because it's coming out in the biggest time of the year for those types of players and it's just gonna get enveloped, I guess. Anyway, I don't know. I feel bad.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Still looking forward to playing it when it does come out, though, right? Like nobody's bitter
Oh
at
yeah,
them for
no,
having to delay it or
definitely.
anything along those lines.
No,
100%.
no, definitely not. Definitely not. I feel bad more than anything. I can't wait to play this game. I for one definitely am going to play this before I play Call of Duty. And there are a lot possibly there are a lot of people like me because that series is near and dear to a lot of its core fan base. So I'm sure those guys are going to keep showing up for it and playing it. And I just hope that's enough, you know? I hope the Game Pass bag is enough, and I hope that Call of Duty doesn't completely squash more than it should with this game. against this game.
I actually wouldn't worry about that too much personally, because I think anybody who cares about Call of Duty is going to jump into it regardless, whether it be
Mhm.
on Game Pass or via a la carte sales. Obviously, you're going to get people in Game Pass that are stoked for Call of Duty coming out and not necessarily being the people who habitually buy Call of Duty. So you're going to see an increase in Call of Duty engagement there, but there's still a large portion of a community that are excited for Stalker 2. Like anyone who's been following Stalker 2 and its news cycle, and obviously everything that's happening with the studio and with Ukraine at large, like we any voice in this community is going to be stoked for um Stalker 2 regardless. You're going to have the existing Stalker community are going to be hyped to either play that on PC Game Pass, or if they have got a console as well, on either console or, again, probably wouldn't recommend cloud, but the option is going to be there. And actually, I think, yeah, initially a game like Stalker will struggle against Call of Duty, because Call of Duty is going to be the headline article there in terms of going, yeah, brand new Call of Duty launching day one on Game Pass. It's a big deal for the industry in general. But any users that particular appeal brings in will eventually discover games like Stalker, and games like Hellblade 2 potentially. I think Stalker is quite an interesting one because at surface level, it's another military type shooter. Potentially there's some appeal there, but obviously Call of Duty is going to take up a lot of the space and the volume. I don't know. I'm sort of second guessing myself.
Did you finish Hellblade 2?
Not yet.
Yeah, that's a
Not
good
yet. I'm working on it.
question.
I am working on it. Sorry.
I can't believe you went and got a haircut when you hadn't even finished Hellblade 2 yet.
Yeah.
It is because I'm going to a wedding tomorrow. That's why.
You have.
I can't believe you're going to a wedding
Cloud,
tomorrow and you
you
haven't finished Hellblade 2 yet.
How dare you go to your wedding? Anyways, point is, you could have played on cloud in the barber seat. You know, you just go boop, 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 or whatever. What do you call them in the UK? The barbers, the barber.
Call them
shop.
terrible ideas, Gamzly. Terrible ideas.
So, anyways, yeah, no. I'm gonna play this game. It looks awesome. Take your time, guys. Obviously, it's a terrible place over there at the moment. So shout out and sending all the love vibes to those guys. And hopefully it does well.
I think it's shaping up great as well. I'm excited for what we've seen so far. I thought it showed quite well at the showcase, compared to it showing at Game Pass. Not Game Pass. It's showing at Gamescom last year, because it looked a bit ropey at Gamescom last year. We are getting a deep dive as well. That's the other part of this news, isn't it? We're getting a deep dive for Stalker 2 on the 12th of August. So that's going to be really exciting. And that will actually, I would, rightfully so, I think the game is going to be put under a microscope, because it's been delayed a lot. And obviously with the history of the team that is delivering it, they've obviously been under a hell of a lot of real world pressure. So people are going to want to know what they've been cooking. And I think regardless of the geopolitics that surround the studio making Stalker 2, there's still going to be an expectation that the level of quality and expectation from a game like that going into Game Pass shows well and does well and performs well. So hopefully we see some really good things on August 12th.
Hopefully. I'm looking forward to it. I forgot to say something really important, actually. Pete gifted a membership on the channel just probably an hour ago, because I let it slide. Pete, thank you very much for that. Pete's been a member himself for like 80 years as well, so it is always appreciated. Pete, always appreciate the support, always appreciate you turning up for the community games. Yeah, 80 years is okay. I'm not good with maths, but it's something close to that. Shut up, Gamzly, tell me about Halo Infinite.
Dog ears, right? Wait, what? We have more Halo Infinite?
This was my story, actually. If you
go for it.
Hold on, wait, before that. No.
Go on.
You confused the hell out of me. Wait a second. So, hit the like button, guys. It helps a
Oh,
lot if you
yeah.
like jamming with us, if you like just laughing and hating me or whatever. Just click the like button. That would be
We've seen
awesome.
a lot of familiar faces show up in the chat from the community tonight as well, which is really
Mhm.
nice to see. Thank you guys for showing up and thank you
Mhm,
for supporting
mhm,
us. We do really
mhm.
appreciate it.
Do that. Share it out. Now, talk to me about your Halo Infinite thing, Deadly.
So Halo Infinite is getting a pretty hefty update. There is a feature that was announced just before we went live that I'm really excited about, so I'm going to get to that. So Halo Infinite sandbox update. The VIP game mode is making a return that was popular back in the Halo 3 days. So I think that's coming back as a mode that obviously you can add into Forge or custom games, etc. By the way, we should try and get some Halo custom community games going at some point. I think that would be really fun. I think that would be
We
really
have
good.
done various bits of Halo, and by the way as well.
We
So the
have.
last time we spoke about Halo having an update, it was the Sentinels mode, the big team battle thing with the Sentinels.
Yes.
And we played that on a
I
community
still haven't
stream.
played.
It's
How
fucking
was it?
irritating. It's horrible.
Was it?
Because the Sentinels make this horrible bleeping noise. I spent the whole time like, this noise is infuriating. So I'm hoping that these new modes that they've added now do not have infuriating bleeping noises for no reason all the way through.
Aren't you a robot? Don't you beep and boop and bleep?
You should
Exactly.
feel
It
right at
was
home.
interfering with my signals.
So VIP is making a return. Campaign music and voiceover lines from Jeff Steitzer, as in the double kill, triple kill announcer, voice of God guy from multiplayer. He
Thanks for
is. You're welcome. Very, very welcome. I hope you all enjoyed it. Anyway, his lines of he's got a bunch of pre-recorded lines that can be scripted into Forge. There's a lot of fun that can be had there, as well as campaign music as well. So I've played a couple of custom campaign levels in Halo Infinite that are really well made and actually really fun to play. So that's really cool too. So they're 343 are clearly like they've seen what the community are doing. They are stoked to see that people have been so creative and inventive with the tools that they've been given, and Forge just keeps on expanding. There are a lot of weapon balances. I'm not going to go through them because there's loads. If you're really interested in what is going on with Halo weapon balancing, I'd recommend the Waypoint article because there is a lot. The thing that I'm really excited about, and I saw this announced like literally 10 minutes before we went live, grenade jumping is making a comeback to Halo. I'm very happy about that because that's been absent for too long. So yeah, really cool update there. The Ghost is getting nerfed, which I think is about time, but also really sad because it's so OP and I love that shit. The Banshee is getting a buff, which is awesome because again, that was just far too weak and not quick enough, and they've sort of done quite a lot to. I think they've changed the movement speed, they've changed how it rolls a little bit, and the projectile speed of the Banshee bomb is quicker as well, so should be a little bit nicer to use. And there are waypoint UI improvements as well, so navigation in like specific sort of custom Forge modes are it's now a little bit easier to manage. I think this does raise some interesting questions about what the plans or what future multiplayer plans are for Halo as an IP, because we keep hearing rumors about it potentially moving over to Unreal Engine 5. Could it be that just single player content is going over to Unreal Engine 5 because it's a little bit easier to iterate story content there? I don't know, but there's a hell of a lot of work going into Halo Infinite's Forge still. It's obviously still a live service game. Yeah, quite a strange one there.
I think that's what 343 is gonna do, right? We talked about it a lot. I think the other episode, was it the other episode? I think 343 is just, I think, gonna pivot and just stick on this game for a very long time, or as long as it takes, and support the new kind of title that's coming out, but it's gonna be someone else. I'm more convinced than ever because I don't know. They're still going strong, but
Mhm.
I don't see them doing two things at once, to be honest. But yeah, we can move on. Is that all? Is that it?
That was quite a
Deadly?
lot. I'm going to have to study these little weapon changes because, I've got to be peak esport level Halo player. Got to know the details. Doesn't really matter how much
I
damage a
think
weapon does when you can't shoot
almost
straight.
every
But
Can I
gun.
just say though? Can I just say?
Go on.
And I promise you, I actually I love the shooting of Halo and Halo Infinite. I think Halo Infinite should be played more than almost arguably every single game out there that is not Counter-Strike. Okay? I think this
It's
game should
excellent.
be played. It should be the
Great
number
game.
2 played game right above Valorant. Valorant should be number 2, then you get CS:GO right there in the middle, and then everything else at the bottom. But I
It's
really
so
truly
much better
believe
than
that.
COD.
It's just I
It's
can't.
so much
It's
fucking
just
better than COD.
I don't understand why it isn't.
no,
But
Deadly Headley, I just spent 4 months downloading Call of Duty.
I just wrong one. But yeah, it's I truly want it to do good. I really do want to do well. So it's too bad. I hope one day magically, randomly, the next Halo is gonna like blow people's face off. But I don't know.
The
Good.
thing
Good.
is,
It's
it launched to such fanfare as a free to play game on PC. I know it launched to a lot of excitement. A lot of streamers getting on board and broadcasting it to their audiences. And I remember there's one specific streamer that I like quite a lot, or YouTuber called iTemp, because I used to play a hell of a lot of Apex. And I'm tempted to get back on that because I do miss it. He's making Apex videos all the time, and when Halo Infinite came out, he was playing on PC using a PlayStation controller because that's always been the platform that he's used and gamed on, and was playing Halo Infinite. And I'm sat there thinking, this is awesome that his Apex community is getting to see Halo and get introduced to Halo, because there is going to be a generation of gamers. I'll very quickly revert back to the guys that I met at the barbershop today. So the guy cutting my hair was 18. The kid to one side of me is like between 8 and 10. I don't know. He looked
Brainless,
really
yes.
really young. These guys like don't I think the guy cutting my hair, the 18-year-old, knew what Halo was. I didn't ask if he played it or anything like that. We also didn't talk about Game Pass or anything like that. And if I go back there, I'm going to ask them some questions about whether or not they know anything about it, because I find that stuff interesting. But it sort of speaks to that larger systemic problem that keeping people engaged, keeping people talking about Xbox, keeping people talking about Halo Infinite, when it again launched to such fanfare as a free-to-play service, but very quickly dropped its player count significantly when content just wasn't showing up quick enough. How does it get that momentum back? Because it's really difficult to build something like that up. You almost see the
It
same
was
concern with something like Concord on PlayStation. It's sort of launched to fairly low numbers, and it's going to have to work quite hard to get those up when it goes up to full release.
well, it's quite crazy because Halo, if you look back, I don't think they're ever timing wise, I don't think they're ever gonna have such a perfect time to launch. It's like
No.
their console, like everybody's stuck at home, right?
Mm.
Everybody's stuck at home. There's a perfect storm that like shooters are coming in full swing, right? It's just becoming a big thing. Yeah, they were always a big thing, but you know what I mean. Like there was a slowdown in the CODs and all that stuff. Halo's coming, a new generation. Everything's like on fire. People are talking about it. They have streamers talking about it. They have it in this spotlight. It reviews fairly well on everything. Everything was just a perfect storm. And here we are, just holding on to dear life. And it baffles me. So I don't know what they can possibly do to retake that magic. Hopefully, um, it doesn't take Call of Duty to boost up Halo again.
Mm.
But anyways, do you want to do rapid fire topics for the rest and then do community questions and get Deadly out of here,
Sounds good.
Asa?
Sounds good.
No, I do not.
No?
Yeah, of course we can. Go for it. Go for it.
I hate you, man. I hate you in all.
I'm
going to
do Hunt Showdown really
That means-
quickly. This is an extra special rapid fire topic because the only person that cares is the General S.T.A.L.K.E.R, and he's not even here. But Hunt Showdown gets a next gen update at last on August the 15th. They are next genning it. You'll get it on the Series consoles, the PS5 and the PC, but they are discontinuing support of the Xbox One version and PS4 version. So there's a thing. If you like Hunt Showdown, welcome, Connor. Carry on with the rest of them.
What is Hunt Showdown?
Hunt Showdown is
Tell us.
Crytek's game. You actually like it as well. That's interesting. It's Crytek's game. It's you have a team of up to 3, and it's an extraction kind of thing. So you have, I think, 3 teams go in. You have to hunt a couple of bosses, try and get out with their trophy without being killed by the other teams. And it had really distinct, like the sound is its most distinct feature at the moment because it has very intense surround sound to let you hear people sneaking around and walking through traps and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, proximity, but not so much the voices, just the sound effects. But it was but ugly on the consoles. So the next gen version is like it's very welcome if they've done a good job of it. And obviously Crytek have a legacy of really pushing technology, but Crytek aren't Crytek anymore. So we shall see.
Yeah, it's interesting. That game is definitely special. Extraction shooters, like the extraction genre, is really making it's becoming really big in the indie space too. I was talking about one before that isn't on Xbox, but it Dark and Darker. I talked about that fantasy one. So there's a whole subgenre being created around this type of um, style of game, which I find way better than what's it called, battle royale. Like battle royale to me is just getting but I love this extraction style, and I hope somebody taps into that, like someone big taps into that, because there's an obvious hunger for this type of game. But yeah, okay. Anything else on Hunt?
Yep.
From me.
All right, cool. So quick thoughts. This I want to ask Tony in the chat or anyone else that played this. Anybody play or on the panel? Did you get access to Marvel Rivals? Did anyone play that? Because no, anyone in chat, tell me if you played this. But this looks awesome. I wish I got in, but I've just been like watching previews on it and looking at like this gameplay. This game looks kind of fun, man. I'm really excited about this. I'm super excited about this. I think this is going to be the game to drag me in. I was about to dabble in Concord. I was about to. I was thinking about it really hard. I was like, I might do this. And then I saw this game and I was like, man, this looks more fun, and they're tapping into the nostalgia heartstrings with the Marvel stuff, and it's just combinating into something I'm really interested in. So, yeah, I'm planning on hopping in, and I'm just preemptively saying that maybe the community or somebody on this panel will want to play with me, because I'm truly interested, because I played Overwatch a lot when it first came out. So, Tony, you let me know if you've been playing Overwatch as well and what you think, and comparatively. And as you answer that, we could move on to the next rapid fire. It seems to be doing well. That was the news and all that stuff. I also want to point out for all the NBA players, which is probably 0 in the chat, all the people that play and like NBA EA titles. Apparently they opened a new kind of branch studio that's making a new NBA Street, and I loved NBA Street so much. So shout out to that. EA is doing some cool, neat little things. This is probably one of them that's on my radar that I quite enjoy. I had a lot of time with street games, so yeah, just to shout that out. Any thoughts on NBA Street? Might be making a big comeback.
I would quite like to play this. I didn't play a lot of NBA games, but I really enjoyed NFL Street on the PS2 back when that first came out. I loved that game, and like NFL isn't that big in the UK. It's slowly getting a bit of a foothold, but it's not necessarily big in the sort of wider kind of pop culture sphere in the UK, but it has got a bit of a niche here. But NFL Street came out like over 20 years ago. If it was on the PS2, I loved it. I thought it was so much fun, and it sort of it I sparked a little bit of a bug for NFL, but not enough for something to stick around. But this actually gives me hope that they might end up re-exploring NFL Street as well as the successor to NBA Street, because I think it's quite a nice vibe. It's a really interesting sort of art style that comes with those kind of games, and yeah, it'd be fun to play something different.
I played a lot of NBA
Yeah.
Jam back in the day. So, if it's like NBA Jam, if I had some time to mess around with it, I'd play it with Gamzly, but he doesn't play games with us. He pretends. He's promising people in chat that he's going to play games with them, and he doesn't. He played League of Legends with me like ages and ages ago, but besides
Listen,
that,
you little I put you on my back, all right, with my little stub arms. I put you on my back, and I fought so many hard battles for you. Just to, I won for you by myself, all right? And then you just left. You just left me with your like 0 and 15 deaths. You just left me. And
that's
I
a
got
half
hurt.
truth.
But
It was 0 and
It's
20.
definitely not
wasn't it?
entirely a lie, but
oh man. Yeah, not entirely. Yeah. Anyways, yeah, where was I going with this? I had something to say. Forget it. Let's just go to the next topic. Are we done on the NBA? Yes.
hell yes.
Quick topic here. This is probably controversial, but we'll just pass it by very quickly. Let's not linger on this. Apparently, AI is used on one of the cosmetic skins in Call of Duty. Surprise, surprise. Activision probably definitely wanted to mess around with this and see what they could get away with, and they definitely did get away with something. But what do you think about this being sold and all that stuff? I don't think we have proper like hardcore numbers or data on this one, but
You know
what
what?
do you
That's
think
too
about it,
deep of a
Headley?
topic.
Is it?
I'm going to very, very quickly chime in on this on the side of Activision, with some caveats. So I work in a creative environment. I work for a creative design agency. Obviously, my industry is very, very aware of AI, its capabilities, its potential threats to our industry, not just in terms of potentially putting people out of a job or putting minds out of a job, but also the copyright risks that come with that, because when you start generating AI assets, obviously they are largely sourced from other image elements that already exist on things like stock images, for example. So you can get into very, very horrible murky waters if you start making something with AI and then selling it for money. Where I want to come in as a bit of a devil's advocate for this story, which is why I put it in the doc, is because the article specifically points out that it is used within the game development and design pipeline, and used for creating things like concept art, and this happens in the creative industry specifically for conceptualizing things. You're not using AI tools to make something for actually going to market, whether it's used in an asset, or on an advert, or anything that is made into something that's printed or sold as part of marketing space or whatever. They are concepts to sell in a visual idea quicker than you could, because you would either have to do it on pen and paper, or you would have to comp it using several stock images if you were sort of trying to pull something together quite quickly like that. Or if you were going for something that was a little bit more bespoke and focused, you might hire a concept artist to do something like that. Where this does get a little bit horrible is potentially this puts a concept artist out of a job. But I understand what this article is trying to communicate in terms of it potentially being used to conceptualize ideas for skins, or conceptualize bringing visions and ideas to life quickly to be able to go, yeah, that's the look and feel for the skin that we're going to make. We're still going to have to put that into the hands of a designer and a creative to make that asset and put it into the game. This isn't a case of AI making a thing that people are going to pay money for, but it is potentially AI coming up with the visual look and feel for the thing that is going to be sold to make money.
Mm.
Moral
That's-
grey area, because again, this stuff is normal in a lot of industries now.
There's an awful lot. This is why I said that this is a potentially massive topic. That you could have a 3-hour podcast just going back and forth around that moral grey area that surrounds
Yeah.
AI and content creation.
Yeah, you can.
Which we could, but we're not going to right now. Yeah.
No. It was just quick thoughts that we could kind of Sorry, I'm chewing. Wow.
Yeah, I wanted
was
to
rude.
sort of get that caveat out there, because obviously you can run with hysteria quite easily, but I think having that context from, again, sort of real world experience of seeing ideas created to sell an idea into a client or as part of a pitch, it doesn't necessarily mean that final product is made using AI, but it's used to guide or set a goal or set a vision for the creative team to then work to deliver that specific asset that can be put into a game, be put onto character models, be sold as part of a cosmetic.
Yep, that there definitely. I I agree. There's definitely a lot to say about that, but I just wanted to bring to the forefront. Headley has a lot of good stuff to say about it, so I wanted to give him his little talk. So,
Thank you.
we'll definitely talk about that deeper when you have more time and we have another 2 hours talk.
Yeah, the
the-
moral quandary around that is a really interesting discussion.
Mhm.
It's definitely one for
Definitely.
a different slow news week. But sorry,
Yeah.
chat, I actually have
We
to go
actually
and do
should've-
my IRL job when I finish this
Yeah.
show, and it is 9:30 at night.
Now,
So there's
now
that.
thinking about it, we should probably should have put this on the top of the list, but it's okay, it's fine. So yeah, let's talk about that. We talked about that, and now I think that was the end of the list. We could do community questions. I think.
We could, which apparently there are
Unless you
quite a
guys-
lot of them, so we're going to need to quick fire a few of these out. We may not get through them all because you're quite promptly needing to leave now, right? Is that true, Deadly Headley?
I'm okay. Like
We'll do a few. We'll get
have to
some.
go and work
Right.
regardless.
Sin as Salo panel. Since Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3 and Diablo 4 are not xCloud playable, are we to expect none of the ABK library to be xCloud playable for the next 15 years? Do you reckon things are going to change with regards to this? Are Xbox going to start licensing these games back for their cloud? Is anybody going to license these games for cloud? Or are we stuck in this situation?
What wasn't there's a contract, right? How long was it?
We
Do
don't.
know the
Yes,
contract?
the contract is 15 years. Ubisoft had or I'm assuming it was 10 or 15, but I'm assuming 15 from that question. They have the distribution rights across many territories for ABK's cloud games.
Interesting.
I reckon that might get reviewed if Microsoft puts in a cloud only tier. They'll go, hey, we this stipulation is now walling off a growth vector for us. But I mean that's kind of why they walled it off, wasn't it? So
Yeah, Microsoft won't like unilaterally be able to get out of the deal, but they might be able to bring it up as like, it could be reviewed if it's doing tangible harm to consumers, then it should be reviewed. So it might be reviewed. 15 years is kind of a long time. Or they can just pay the money and put it on there if it means that much. If it becomes that valuable, then the licensing costs will be worth it. So.
Yep. Yeah, there's not much else to say on that. I agree.
Stephen Southwick, rumours of a big game that's not Call of Duty coming to Game Pass at the end of this month are all over. Do you think that there's anything in these rumours? And if so, what do you think the game could be? I've not seen any of that. I've been away from social media, so rumours have passed me by entirely. Where are we? What is month? It's July?
I heard it might be the Crash Bandicoot Insane trilogy, but not
that's August.
I wouldn't call that a big game. Yeah.
Yeah.
Suicide Squad will come soon, so that could be like considered big in that it had a hefty budget. There was another one.
Or what, Game Pass?
Yeah, I reckon so.
I will absolutely jump on that if that comes to Game Pass, 100%. I do want to play it, I just don't want to pay money for it. Yeah.
Oh, there were a couple of others that were like likely candidates because they had relatively big budgets that they probably didn't meet through sales, which is usually like that usually makes games prime candidates for the service when the publisher wants to try and recuperate a little bit of their loss. That Sandy game, what was the Sandy one called? Where you surf around on the sand and you fight stuff. You don't know. God, you're gonna feel so silly. You do know.
The one that looks like Avium, right? Oh my god.
Doesn't look like Avian, but you kind of conjure up glowy
the
weapons.
Unreal 5, like the really gorgeous one. God damn it, what is that one?
It's not that gorgeous. I have played it. It doesn't matter. It's a game. It has lots of sand in it. If such a thing exists, then it was that one.
Yeah, definitely. I'll find this. This was in
Stephen is very satisfied with that answer. So let's have the next question. Luke is going to be Luigi's Mansion 2 remaster. I will not believe that. Just James. Good show. Thank you, James. Are any of you going to play Fallout London mod when it comes out?
Yes.
It's PC only, isn't it?
Yeah, it's PC only at the moment. They've expressed a desire to work with Bethesda to bring it to... Yes, thank you, Gamzly. Atlas Fallen was that game. They have expressed a desire to bring it to Xbox, but they would need some help to do so. So seems fairly unlikely. I've not played through a lot of Fallout, to be honest, so it's not high on my list, but good on them for making such a big and impressive expansion mod DLC user-generated content piece.
Thank you, Eradication, for reminding us about Atlas Fallen, and also nice to see you in here. Fallout London, yes, I will do. Wow, good English all around. I'm totally into it. I'm a Fallout guy, so I'll do that for sure.
Tony has asked, what do you think will replace microtransactions? Destiny not letting you bring anything to the sequel left a sour taste to many gamers, but will that happen to Fortnite, Rocket League, and so on?
If anything changes, it's going to be in an advertising way, and that's going to be wild. So, yeah.
Yeah. It's on that topic, it's going to be really interesting to see what happens with GTA Online and GTA 6, because there's obviously a large user base that has spent an unthinkable amount of money on that platform. And they're going to want to keep as many of those players as possible. They're not going to want to piss off any of those players. But ultimately, they're going to have to figure out a way of... Well, does GTA Online evolve again, or do they just draw a line in the sand and go, fuck it, here's your new GTA, you can still live in the old GTA Online if you want, but this is what we're doing going forward.
Yeah, they're not going anywhere, Tony. And the issue, the people being soured on not being able to carry things forwards, is a good situation for publishers as well. They don't want you to carry things forwards. You had all this craze around NFTs and all the rest of it and take your stuff everywhere. But realistically, if you can get that Call of Duty model going where you can reset it every year and make people spend their money again, greed wins out always. So they're not going anywhere.
I'm so glad the NFT craze has fucked off.
Yes.
Like, that's not coming back. It's awful.
Yeah.
Awful. That would have been like single-handedly the worst thing that could happen to video games, and I include microtransactions in that. Like, fuck that.
I think it was a lovely idea.
Your ape? You don't want your ape picture? God damn it. Anyway. I don't know what I'm talking about. Let's go.
Steve, this one wasn't supposed to be a question. Isla, I think Stephen said that several of his were supposed to be comments and he accidentally submitted them as questions. But it says, do I do a show with Tony on a Saturday called CAS? And what does the CAS stand for? Tony assures me that it stands for Carry Asa Streams, which doesn't make any sense because like I contribute heavily in these games that we play, and we never escaped in Chain Together, so... I beg your pardon.
I have a very good example of that. I have a good example of carrying Asa and having you valuable, You just were the bait, and everybody killed you while I killed them.
Exactly, so I'm a hero.
Valuable.
absolutely hero of the story, doing the difficult work. So same thing happens on Saturdays. I play the games with Tony, and we have fun. They're quite entertaining as well. So C4 Skills has asked, does Xbox have a replacement for September? They're not going to invent a month. Oh, you mean because Stalker 2 is going away? Have Xbox got anything to plug the gap?
It's Xbox, you worry.
I don't know. Do they need a replacement for September? I guess there's going to be people that have expectations for content dropping in Game Pass. I don't know. Is Stalker 2 going to leave a hole? Is it going to be a disappointing?
Generally, isn't it? It's yeah. It could be that if they are concerned about there being a content gap in September, it could be that they end up looking at
Suicide
dropping
Squad.
another ABK game. It's or
Yeah.
another title like Suicide
That's a
Squad.
good point.
Yeah, there's always going to be content to drop. Just because it's not Stalker doesn't mean that they can't sort of go, okay, cool, we've got games, whether that's a third party thing,
Damn.
something that they had planned in the pipeline and now need to move forward or shuffle around because the year looks busier than expected in October, November time, because it already was. They'll figure it out.
Pete, I don't know about this one. It's quite long. He's asking for the
Let's do it.
3 or up to 3 funniest comedians who drew breath on Earth are or were. Points will be added for mentioning Sean Locke.
Yeah,
I'm Canadian. I don't know anything. Jim Carrey. Is that one?
Carrey's great. Comedians. I really like Dave Chappelle. I would include Sean Locke on that list as well. I think he was brilliant.
Who's Sean Locke?
Sean Locke was a British comedian. He passed away a few years ago.
That was not a serious question. I don't care.
You should care. You should care. He was very good, and his death was very sad. You heartless prick.
Oh shit, he died? Oh
Yeah, he
boy.
did. I just said he passed away a couple of years ago.
I told you I wasn't listening.
I'll
rest
send
in
you
peace.
I'll send
Anyway.
you some links after this. He was very, very funny. He's like really sort of like dry cutting, quite dark sense of humor. I actually think you'd like him a lot, to be fair.
Mhm.
I'm gonna go do that. I'm so sorry, Pete, for disrespecting that person. But yeah, I'm gonna check this out. Thanks for the question, Pete. Now I get to not watch this comedian.
The funniest one I've seen live was a surprise, actually, because his TV stuff isn't that funny, but it was Rob Brydon. Rob Brydon live is
nice,
really damn good. Very talented as well. So that was unexpected. I didn't expect him to be as funny as he was. Good live show. Eradication
I
has
quite like Russell Kane. I really like Russell Kane. I think he's very funny.
I know none of these. I know I was kind of joking about me not knowing anything, but I know none of these names. I'm so sorry.
I'll send you some links.
Don't worry, Gamzly, they don't know you either. Right. Eradication has asked.
Nobody does.
That's not true. You're a massive Instagram following. Eradication has asked, anyone on the panel tried the new No Man's Sky update? I'm going to finally jump in, as it looks quite impressive over the initial release version. Yeah, it does, doesn't it? I haven't played it yet. It's a bit daunting, that one, because if it is good, where am I going to get 1 million hours from? Could have played that while I was downloading Call of Duty. That's a good idea. I don't know. Either you, No Man's Sky.
No, but I would like to. I would like to. It does look cool. Yeah, I prefer the big boy No Man's Sky though. Starfield.
Read the next 3 out loud for you. I have to read all of them out loud, Viola. I'm way more interested in Stalker 2 than I am in COD, says Stephen Southwick. Not a question. Next one, please, Isla. I know you're having a bad day. Let's go through. It says, this one tags Isla specifically and says, please ignore that Stalker 2 thing in the question. It wasn't meant to be a question. Next one, please. We're not ignoring it. Sorry, Stephen. Tags Isla again. Please ignore the last 2 things I've sent to the questions. Accidental. Do either of you two have anything to say on these questions?
Gamzly, what
No.
other comedians do you like?
Oh.
Who else? Who inspires
David
you
Blaine.
comedically?
David Blaine, is that a comedian?
I was a magician.
Uh, right. Well, back
This
to the previous
explains so
question now.
much.
Oh, did Gamzly get to answer about No Man's Sky? Yeah, we don't need to hear from Gamzly. That's fine. Let's do the next one. Gamzly,
No,
did you have
I'm
anything
gonna-
on
I'm
No Man's
gonna-
Sky?
Yep, I do, Asa. It is a phenomenal game. So listen, from the beginning of time, there was a spaceship,
Sorry, Deadly
a
Headley.
singular man. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I've actually gone back recently, and it looks completely different. And I immediately froze and didn't know what to do, and got scared and left. That's it. But I'm ready to explore it again for sure when I have time.
It does look awesome now. Right. Are there any more? Or have we done our questions? It's tense.
Is it?
That was it. That was all the questions done. So we've smashed through it relatively quickly. Deadly Headley, I hope you got time to finish your work and get some sleep or do whatever else it is that you need to do. Let's do our nice, concise outro. So, what's up with you, Deadly Headley? Hope you had a good time. Tell people where they can find you, what you're up to.
I have had a good time. Thank you very much. As always, you can find us here, 8 p.m. UK time, 3 p.m. Eastern, or 12 p.m. Pacific on the Xbox Series podcast. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. Please make sure that you hit the like button, subscribe button, share us out, all that good stuff. You can find me on Twitter at deadlyheadley_, and you can find me on YouTube at deadlyheadley. Go and check that out if you haven't before. I do a lot of journalistic style Xbox content. I don't upload very often, but I'm really proud of my stuff because it's really fucking good, if I do say so myself. And at one point, I will make more content again, but life is really busy right now. So go subscribe and like and support there if you haven't seen me already. That's it.
Gamzly, you did a fantastic meerkat impersonation while Deadly Headley was talking there. Are you okay? Tell people where they can find you, what you're up to.
The hell is a meerkat?
Gamzly just
answer the
doesn't
question.
know nouns, apparently. Like names, animals, like complete blank.
Yeah, it's just what did you call me, a plank?
I can do.
It won't hurt him. He doesn't know what one of those is either.
I was about to say, what's a plank? Anyways, yeah, it doesn't matter where you can find me. Go watch Deadly Headley's stuff. He does some good stuff. Go follow his channel. Follow me on X if you want to see me talk a lot of crap and tell you where I'm going to be next. And of course, every Thursday, right here on the Gaming Arcadia YouTube channel for the Xbox Series podcast every Thursday at 3 p.m. Eastern Time. And I love you all, and I'll be watching a lot of, comedians, apparently. Please help me and educate me.
I still
That's
need
it.
to send you some peep show clips as well.
It's true.
'cause
You never did. You
I think I sent you.
terrible
I think I
person.
might have tagged you in one, but I
did,
actually
you
think
did.
you'll really
I
like
lied.
peep show.
You did. You tagged me. I completely ignored it, left, and that's it. That's the story of my life.
Wow. Asa, where are you this week in terms of streams and stuff? What are you doing?
Oh, I don't bloody know. Nobody knows. I stream here sometimes on the Gaming Arcadia channel, and I stream games and things on the Asa Games channel as well. So either place you can find me. And if you're not sure, get on the Discord, because that's the way to keep up with where everyone is and what's going on. Plus, it's always entertaining as well. Before this show, there was a bunch of people playing some games, so got to jump in there and see what they were up to. Bit of Elden Ring, bit of VR from Tony, and just general chat going on. It's nice to be around that. So if you can, get in there. Either way, thanks for being here with us today. It is always great to see the chat flowing and keeps us motivated and entertained as well. And we will see you next time.
Thanks,
I
guys.
pressed it.